Welcome to Videoland.
Captain N, the Game Master, was an embarrassing drop in the bucket when it came to subpar, hastily produced Nintendo-based cartoons that originated in the late 80s. It centers around Kevin, a Letterman jacket-wearing middle-class every teen who has the personality of a sack of marbles. This first episode, aptly titled Kevin in Videoland, kicks things off with a money shot of Mother Brain's evil minions as they lay siege on the Palace of Power. Everything is video this and video that, with generic names given to different worlds that reside within the video game universe. We've got Castlevania, Metroid, Planet Metroid from Metroid the video game, a world shaped like a brain Metroid, Mount Icarus, Congo Land, Megaland, and of course, the Palace of Power, which is a relatively clever name in this universe. These are all exhibited in the opening credits and look to have been illustrated by a rum-soaked toddler, right? So, Mother Brain's pizza cutter-wielding soldiers are trying to do something to the citizens of Videoland while they chant the thing everything chants when they have to chant in a cheap, poorly written cartoon with sprinkles of Nintendo sound effects occurring throughout. The only fun there is to be had while watching this bargain bin of a show is trying to figure out what video game characters are trying to be represented, and pinning the audio bits to their 8-bit sources. The first batch of characters we are introduced to are the baddies, King Nipples and Eggplant Wizard, you know, from Punch-Out and Kid Icarus, respectively. Brilliant. Mother Brain unironically kicks ass, though, voiced by the far too talented Levi Stubbs.
Right? Yeah.
The lead singer of the incredibly inspirational quartet, the Four Tops, who were a driving force behind Detroit's Motown sound in the 60s. Most people remember him as the voice of Audrey 2 from the 80s remake of Little Shop of Horrors.
That's right, boy!
He is way too good for this show, and clearly the only one involved in Captain N with any real talent. The animators and writers must have recognized this as well, since Mother Brain is one of the first characters introduced, her ghastly design being one of the series' true highlights, even if it doesn't represent its in-game counterpart in the slightest.
It won't be long before I, beautiful goddess that I am, become queen of Videoland!
After the generic 80s kid show threat has been established, the plot moves forward to introduce our heroine, Princess Lana, joined by her mismatched entourage of video game misfits. Don't worry if you're confused by their appearances, because she introduces them all for our benefit in a touching scene over the saddest music that has ever played.
A pleasure to serve you, your worship.
Simon, you've been our anchor in a long and terrible storm.
I know.
I thank you all for your efforts. I only wish it didn't have to end this way.
Do not give up hope yet, Princess.
Simon, let go of me.
No means no, Simon.
Those of which you are familiar. The legend of Videoland foretells of a young warrior from another land who shall warp into our world and lead you to victory. He is Captain N, the Game Master.
Heed the words of the omnipotent Power Glove, the Barbie toy for men. Love thy Power Glove. Buy thy Power Glove today. This is one of the first of many examples where middle-aged writers, or in this show's case, writer, cherry-picking terms from video games at the time. The ultimate warp zone is uttered with godlike assurance to elicit gasps from Nintendo children everywhere.
Behold, the ultimate warp zone.
I know that. I know warp zones from the games. It's so contrived and about as humiliating as an old man tearing apart a kid's cartoon from the 80s on the internet. Wow, that ultimate warp zone is showing clips from that new Captain Nintendo video game commercial. Microwave some popcorn, everyone. Let's gather around for some distracting ADR and futuristic special effects.
What? How do we get here? Simon Belmont? Kid Icarus? Mega Man?
How Kevin identifies these characters is beyond me, unless he lives in another world where Kevinicus doesn't have the head of Ron Howard on the body of a child with fetal alcohol syndrome and Mega Man? Really, we couldn't do better than this? He's not even the right color. The blue bomber. A far stretch even for this show.
A pleasure to serve you, your worship.
You've got to give the creators of the show credit for doing a nice, slow tilting shot to introduce our sole female character and her exposed milky white midriff. Nintendo boys turned into Nintendo men this September Saturday in 1989. Keep it together, Kevin. Your Scooby-Doo stand-in is ashamed of you.
This can't be happening to me.
Sure is, Kevinicus. It's happening to all of us.
Don't piss crack baby Will Robinson off, Kevin. His red-headed rage knows no bounds.
I'll say Videoland.
No means no, Simon. Don't make me tell you again. And, like any mature royal authority figure, Princess Lana cries for attention before storming off to her room. The red-headed menace and trach tube Mega Man turned against Kevin because we need conflict in the spectacular story before we learn that our heroine's father has been taken away from Videoland. Let's check in on Metroid, Planet Metroid, the place that is shaped like a brain Metroid.
Giving me a perfect opportunity to strike a fatal blow at the heart of Videoland.
Just look at how that face stretches in revolting ways within that urine canister. It's particularly disgusting when we get a shot of her features from behind, where you can see the spinal cord leading up to the brain. But nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to the sight of King Hippo's magnificently pronounced nipples. They look like oversized macaroons atop delicate blueberry meringue mountains. What a lovely way to design a character.
Yes, your sugar meatness. Yes, yes.
Jesus Christ, someone give this eggplant a neti pot. He's clearly congested. Better yet, let's just dump salt all over him and be done with it. What a nauseating voice that is. I'm not a violent man, but I'd have no problem slicing that aubergine horizontally for a tasty baba ganoush. And why do his bowels jettison raw ratatouille ingredients whenever he makes a sudden movement? Truly disgusting. The evil scheme is underway. Mother Brain's pudgy little minions are tasked with kidnapping the princess because of course that's where this was all leading. The plot is awful at best. I mean, Lana is pretty beaten down and broken. What is standing in Mother Brain's way? This is what you get when you only have one writer for multiple episodes of a TV show. Jeffrey Scott penned the majority of these, a man in his late 30s at a time where video games were still in their infancy. As a result, I think it's fair to assume that he wasn't steeped in knowledge when it came to these characters. Now, that might seem like a lofty assumption, but I think the proof is in the poo-flavored pudding that is this show. No hate for a writer doing his job. We all need to make our money, but Rod Serling, this man, is not. So we push ahead to a sequence where Legume Loaf and Cow Patty Titties sneak into the Palace of Power with the elegance of a jackhammer. At this point, I think it's safe to assume that our heroes are the only ones who inhabit this place, which begs the question, why has Mother Brain sent so many of her forces to bust down the gate, as it were, when she can evidently warp them directly into the castle? The princess's posse have been shown to be completely incompetent up to this point, with their endless, senseless bickering and infighting. Go in, scoop her up, and be done with it, but no silly situations must occur for the enjoyment of all brainwashed children everywhere.
It's me, Kevin. I need to talk to you.
Quick, think of something.
Me? I'm just an incompetent vegetable.
Please note the enlargement of the nipples here. It's clear this plan has stimulated Mr. Hippo, a great attention to detail by the animators, and I use that term very loosely, animators.
Just a minute.
A wonderful sound this fussy eggplant makes here too. Let's hear it again. And again. Once more for good measure. I guess Kevin didn't see what just happened to the princess 3 feet in front of him.
Your Highness?
They dealt with Simon, an armed hero, swiftly, yet capturing the midriff princess has proven to be a problem.
Princess Lana! Put her down!
Whatever you say.
Whoa!
I suppose it's easier to not have to animate a rolled up carpet, so let's go that route, as needlessly complex as it is.
Kevin, help!
Alright, that's it! You guys are toast!
Oh no, the princess and her captors disappeared into thin air. We didn't even get to see it all play out on screen. It must have been a martini lunch for the artists that day, and I use artists loosely. Fortunately, we got a little taste of that montage music, so consider my appetite whetted.
Get Icarus, Mega Man, we've got to find the princess.
Don't worry, it's Maximus.
Why does this baby boy have cleavage?
Simon, the princess has been kidnapped. If we don't find her, I may never be able to get back home.
We'll start searching immediately.
Oh, that face. Tranya for your troubles, Simon?
Out there for a start.
The Tranya.
What do you think you're doing?
Hit the pause, guys!
That's the select button, you video game master, you.
No wonder Videoland's losing the war. These guys are just fighting themselves. We've got to rescue the princess. Simon, get me a map of Videoland.
Simon Belmont takes orders from only one person. Simon Belmont.
Who thought this would be the best way to characterize this guy?
This is it! The express warp to Metroid!
That's right, stare at my hairy taint, you thimble-sized weebles. Get all of Donkey's Kong into you. More crotch. For the kids!
My arrows will stop that Ipicus Maximus.
Seriously, Icarus, the Icus quirk is already old and we're barely through the first episode.
That wasn't the kind of snap I had in mind!
We get it. Simon's useless.
Look, I've played Donkey Kong enough times to know what I'm doing. Trust me.
Clearly you haven't played Donkey Kong at all, Kevin. There aren't any volcano warp zones in Donkey Kong, Kevin. Actually, there are none. If anything, I trust you less now. Don't make me come down on you with the force of a million YouTube commenters with my arsenal of actualies.
Ha! I'd sooner trust a vampire to give me a shave.
I guess we were meant to use our imaginations on that one. Is Simon implying that a vampire would cut his neck? Or bite him while he's incapacitated in a barber's chair? Your guess is as good as mine. They needed a quippy line, and that's what we got. Quality entertainment written in an hour.
I know what I'm doing. Trust me.
I trust you, Kevinicus. If Kid Icarus trusts you, I trust you.
Ah yes, feral fun-sized friends unite.
Pause!
Again, that's the select button.
Quick, get on the boulders. The pause won't last that long. Simon, hurry!
Planet Metroid is angry.
Hey guys, this is where we get off. Pause!
That's not pause, Kevin. That's select.
That was a real cool move, Kevinicus. I agree.
Now who wants a handy?
Don't thank me yet.
Fuck off, Simon.
A team, of course.
Why is he blasting his throat with perfume?
Sorry, Captain Nuisance, but no one shall come between Princess Lana and her loving Simon Belmont.
Oh, screw you, Simon.
Mega Man, give me a hand. Thanks!
We need to fit this show into 22 minutes, so let's just have things conveniently happen so we can cut to that sweet, sweet montage music.
Don't worry about it,
Wait,
Princess.
so it was that easy to penetrate Mother Brain's lair? The tiny twins just barged in.
We're locked in.
So this is what the Ultimate Warp Zone has sent to defeat me, huh? We'll see just how good you are when you try to survive the corridors of Metroid.
Uh-oh, the corridors of Metroid. That's a Metroid, all right. Wow, more Metroid. Was that Kraid? Kraid's from Metroid. So the original aired version of this cartoon featured Shakedown by Bob Seger, which is clearly a song every kid in the late 80s wanted to hear in their overlong toy commercials. Fortunately, when the series dropped on DVD, it was replaced by a homogenized vanilla Beat It approximation. I'll have the egg white omelet, please.
Huh? Oh, I'm out of power!
And you're out of time, too.
Don't pop the nipples, they're made of pudding. The hero shot is money.
I'll deal with you myself.
Quick, into the warp zone! It's too dangerous to finish her off.
You may have stuck me this time, Princess, but next time I'll be stronger than ever.
You will stay and help defend Videoland, won't you?
Sorry, Your Highness, but I've got to get back to my world.
Duke's barking is making Frank Welker sad.
Kevin, you better not be playing that foolish game. You have homework to do. And don't forget to take out the trash.
Uh-oh, teenage-voiced mother is nagging again. Let's stay in Videoland after all.
It was a pleasure testing you.